London is hosting the new World Open 5. The lineup is stronger, the stacks are deeper, and with $480,000 up for grabs, there's some thrilling poker in store. This is the Party Poker World Open 5. It's a new series and a new format testing the skills of the world's poker elite. 6 heats take place with the winner going straight through to the final table and the runner-up getting a second chance in the playoffs. They've got World Series of Poker bracelets, they've got EPT titles, and they've won millions of dollars worldwide. And that just makes this one of the toughest lineups in poker. And tonight, Heat 2 kicks off, and what a lineup it is. We have World Series of Poker Europe final tableist Praz Bansi. We've got two-time bracelet winner JP Kelly, and of course the infamous Phil Laak as well. And pride is at stake here because a championship title is on the line.
Okay, my name's Phil Laak, and I'm here at the Palm Beach Casino. We're playing poker. I'm just a guy that loves poker. Anything where you're winning large chunks of dough, there's prestige in it because there's a lot of people fighting for it.
Hi, my name is Greekfish. I'm a poker player for the last 10 years or so. I'm Greek and I'm the best in my village. This is poker. I mean, you know, everyone was complaining that they were, you know, crapshoots. This is definitely no crapshoot. If you lose today, you deserve to lose, and simple as that.
Hi, I'm JP Kelly from the UK. I've won 2 bracelets this year. People say I'm under the radar, and yeah, I look forward to showcasing how I play.
I'm Praz Bansi, I'm from London. I feel like I've come into form recently. You can't play for second place in this heat, you know, you have to go for the win, and I think that will suit my style quite well.
Off and running for this second heat of the partypoker.com World Open. And Mike, 300 big blinds.
You said you might pass on the river.
You shouldn't be going broke in one hand here, should you?
Well, you're right, Jesse. They get plenty of chips, plenty of time to play. When the blinds are this small, certainly you shouldn't be jeopardizing a lot of chips to win such a small amount.
We saw an ace-king, heat number 1, guys getting away from ace-king early and you know, just calling with it. All those options are open to players here, aren't they?
Well, they are.
This would be. It looks like he's re-raised this pot, and this is the first re-raise we've seen tonight.
The alarm bells
Ace king.
I'm sorry I didn't send you fellas an email to let you know I was going to enter a hand, but you know, with all the internet traffic these days.
That's it.
It's not a big re-raise, Mike. Just up to from 6 to 14.
Well, now here's an amateur player. This guy's a mechanic, Jesse.
Was it 14 total?
Yeah, 8 total.
8 more.
Cool.
And he's going to make the call. Wants to see a flop.
Kid.
That's the beauty of this game, isn't it? I mean, here he is. He's only 10 minutes into this heat, and he's already got a big decision against, let's just say, a WPT champion.
Let me come back tomorrow.
Well, it's come Jack, Jack 4.
I mean, if you like your 7s pre-flop, you like them now?
Well, you do. You like them until your opponent leads out in bets. And then you wonder what to do. Yeah, here's the answer. Take the bet away from him by leading out.
17,000.
How much?
17.
And he's bet 17,000.
And does Phil believe, or is he thinking, even if I do believe, I can get him off it? Oh, he's raising.
Wow, this is a smart play. That works against pro players. In other words, when a guy comes over the top, he raised before the flop, looks like he's got a bigger pair than yours right now by making that re-raise. The question is, will an amateur get away from a pair here just because he got raised? And what a test this guy's being put to right off the bat. You know, he told me, he said, what should I do? What should I do? I'm just going to sit around and get the feel of the game. And here he is in the first big contested pot and getting outplayed by Phil Laak.
Come on.
If somebody gives me 10 pounds sterling in front of me in the next 6 seconds, I'll turn it over. 5, no, 3, 4. Oh,
I'll pay.
a lot of money where I come from. This is like $16.
Wow.
Now, this is the kind of stuff Phil Laak is known for in cash games as well as tournaments. He is really fun to be at the table with.
My entry fee was actually 10 pounds less than you guys. Used to be like, oh, there was like one guy in the casino you have to worry about. Now there's like 30 internet kids you have to like worry about, you know? So, yeah, so I suspect that all of my opponents, whether or not I've ever seen them before or not, are going to play world-class or very close to world-class play. That's what it feels like I'm up against, which is fine because, you know, it's a $10,000 entry thing. What do you expect? Just a guy to know how to spell poker and that's it? No, you don't get that. Those days are over, you know? That was back in 05. Oh yeah, I can spell poker, let me play. Oh, what is it, flush? You know? I'm just a guy that loves poker and I'm playing and I know there's a lot of smart guys out there with me. So whether or not I go through or bust out, whatever, I hope to come back next year because these things are a blast.
He's doing what he's got to do, right?
You get to the last 3, you'll probably get to
But you know I have
business class with the...
You're making me get giddy now. I'm actually thinking of rising it.
Praz, you know I have a big hand when I start talking, right? That's going to be a pattern you'll see the whole trip.
Don't give away.
We don't want to look.
It's the truth.
We want to
It's the
play
truth.
a fun pot, don't we?
Ask any of the regular cash game players. I've got what?
Oh, look, yes, that's
Well, here's the Frenchman.
Oh yeah, check him out. Put him on.
He picks up big slick, got the ace-king, raised the pot.
We're seeing some big
Oh,
hands here tonight.
Yeah, we really are.
Straight hair. See, I'm blind. Absolutely blind without it, right?
Greekfish yet to move a chip. JP Kelly.
I can't see, buddy. And it's too bright in here, too. I don't know how you guys play without shades on. I mean,
Well, Wayne has the 5, 6 of diamonds, the suited connectors. Wants to take a flop with this hand.
He's getting tempted, I think, tonight. And, you know, you tell yourself you're going to play tight, and then you get tempted.
Oh, look at this. He's got the kind of hand that can really do some serious damage to the Frenchman here if he hits it. He's flopped the open end straight. Remy, of course, with top pair and top kicker.
Cheap enough, says Wayne, to try and spike the 4 or 9. And if he does, you got to figure he's getting paid, huh?
Sure thinks so. Well, now the heart comes off. That's going to scare both players. Neither player has a heart in his hand, but they don't know that the opponent doesn't have any.
This is...
Look at this Canadian. Is leading out and betting 15,000. Going to put the Frenchman to the test right here.
And it is a big test because it's not just about this bet, right? It's the bet that could come on the river.
And plus, if you're sitting in Remy's seat, there's a possibility the guy could have ace-queen, where he just outdrew you too. Well, Remy makes the good call.
O'Brien's got outs, and some of them might be hearts.
You're right. Oh, there is the heart. Can he fire one more shell? The Canadian mechanic, look at this, Jesse. He is reaching for chips. Wow.
17,000.
Oh, did he go big enough? He did.
Well, it turned out to be big enough, that's for sure.
Wow.
He has outplayed the Frenchman here.
no, sir. Thank you, sir. That would be in the deficit then. Right now, I'm in the.
You said
looks
he
like
was
this
scared to
company can go
death,
somewhere
Mike.
with it. Got a quarterly annual income.
Now I don't know if he's still steaming from getting outplayed by Phil Laak a moment ago, or he just knew that was the only chance he had to win the pot.
Put in the post office.
Was leading out and betting there, and you and I both thought it wasn't enough to bet to scare a guy out of that pot,
I got
but
you.
obviously we were wrong. It certainly was enough. The Frenchman abandoned ship. Chalk one up to the bold bet by the Canadian there.
Give it to a runner, yeah.
It's a real humming casino. Just a great night. Spectators all around.
You know, he stands around, you know. So make him run around.
I must say, Jesse, it's my first time here at the Palm Beach Casino, and I've really been impressed with the quality and class of this place, as well as the service. Just been terrific for me.
Me as well. They got cash tables. They've got you know, the poker tables, a restaurant, and just a nice, classy joint.
Yeah, very elegant, no question about it. And right now, we've got a couple suited hands. Remy raises it to 5,000 with the Jack-9 of hearts.
He's just trying to make something happen, isn't he? I mean,
Well, he is. He's forcing the action here. Phil Laak has made the call here.
Oh, right, yeah.
And the Canadian making a call here with a Jack-deuce offsuit. Wow. Well, we were talking about wanting him to gamble. We got a guy gambling now.
That's definitely a hand Gus
Oh.
Hansen would have played, and this is the problem, right?
Wait,
Well,
Wayne?
it's definitely the problem. He's flopped top pair, but he's out-kicked.
How?
And whether you're betting or whether you're calling, you're in a big jackpot here.
Yeah, jammed up. He's going to lead at it, and I wonder if Remy's going to call or raise.
Well, I saw Phil Laak raise this guy and take the pot away from him a little while earlier, but he's just going to make the call.
Yeah.
And problem Wayne's going to be facing is the bigger this pot gets, the less he's going to like it. I guess. I don't know.
Well, when a guy called you on the flop, you might put him on something like a middle pair or a flush draw. You're not going to think he had jacks probably because he didn't re-raise you.
Remy's not exactly over the moon about his kicker, is he?
No, he's not. And he's not going to like that card either.
As it turns
Because
out.
it's another overcard. Well, the Canadian is going to bet again, but he's going to get paid off this time, I think.
Well, it's just a little teeny bet,
Yeah,
Mike.
yeah, he's going to get paid off. This is a mistake by an amateur player, in my view. If you're going to try to put pressure on a guy, you got to bet more money than that. You know, make a big bet at him, you know, to run him out of the pot just in case he's got 2 jacks in this spot. But Remy's going to take down this pot. 2 jacks with the 9 kicker. It is going to play.
Yeah, I was wondering if you remember he was on the.
Yeah, right, you do.
I don't think that bit will make the.
It won't make the cut, don't worry. They behave themselves when I swear or say naughty things. I've got my £2 ready, Phil.
5,000 total.
And Phil Laak's raised this with King 8 suited. Phil Laak.
And he's got one of the hands that everybody likes to play as a player, Jack 10 of diamonds. For his sake, you better hope diamonds don't come up.
A little bit to the right, it would land right in that red circle, and we wouldn't even know you called.
Do you know what? I think
Praz Bansi, not a man to take off a loose flop out of position.
It won't come.
Look at that. We wouldn't even have known you called. I would have been pushed the pot.
I regret calling now. I should have raised. That's all. It was a raise move.
Anything can happen, Andy, and usually does.
Uh-oh.
Oh my gosh, it's coming. 9-9-6 with 2 diamonds. Both players have flopped a flush draw.
Dr. Andy.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I've got some of that. That should tell you quite a lot about my hand.
8,000.
Oh, I'm going to go broke to my new buddy, Andy.
I think you might do, Phil. I think you might go broke.
If there's anyone to go broke to, it would be an honor to
The
go broke
deck
to.
doesn't like somebody if the diamond comes, Mike, and it might be the Greekfish.
Check again.
The 8 comes off. Phil Laak now out in front with 9s and 8s, and now the king comes on the river. So he's got kings
I feel
up.
like if I bet, you're going to think I missed my flush draw.
Did you have a flush draw? Wow. I never
I
told you
feel
on
like
that.
if I bet, you might fold because I might add a 7-10, which got there, you know?
Possibly. I think you must have the best hand, surely.
Tell you, Mike, a lot of people would have been tempted to bet there on the turn with the Greekfish's hand. He really slowed down and kept that pot small, didn't he?
Well, he really did, especially after not getting raised on the flop. And there's an outside chance. Had he made a good continuation bet there, he might have won that pot. But,
yeah, might have.
but maybe not, because Phil Laak made 2 pair as well as his flush draw. So, but here's a case he's not going to get paid off.
I'll run so good. I'll really run so good. It's okay, we're friends. You've got the best.
No way he's going to call this hand.
I'll run too good, you see.
Well, he thinks he ran bad there. The truth is, he ran so good it's unbelievable. He never had the best hand and had a diamond come up. He might have got himself broke. And yet he thinks he's very unlucky right now. That's the ironic part about it.
A royal flush, and you flop the flush draw and the thing, and
it might come.
Welcome back to the Party Poker World Open 5 from the Palm Beach Casino in London. Heat 2 is underway and we have yet to lose a player, so let's get down to the tables and see what's going on.
This does seem to be one of those heats where the real crazy ones are going to be the quiet ones, Mike. You know. And, I think we're gonna see fireworks here.
Well, we've seen a few plays made to pick up pots here, no doubt about it. Also seen some big laydowns.
I want to raise with good cards, so I have this.
No real monster clashes yet, though, Jesse. That's what we're waiting for.
Well, Zach's on the run with the 7 deuce here.
I'm a fan. I'm actually a fan, seriously.
JP's
I was
it's
thinking
his
of
second pot in a
I was
row.
going to come and do.
Should I?
They were
Could
telling me
I?
a story. I won't mention names, obviously, but for what you
Simon
and Bill
Zach
were doing, and one of the boys
apparently has gone into a stealing mode here. He's got to be like Robin Hood.
They didn't expect me to be in America. In London that day.
They told me, goes, oh my
You get the
God.
feeling Simon's only raised here to be able to show it.
Well, JP leads right out with the King 9 here.
That was fun.
I think JP feels like his opponent's got ace high, going to try to win the pot, but not going to work as Zach has flopped second pair. Now the board pairs threes.
Is JP going to get stubborn on this, or is he going to shut it down?
The question here, Jesse, is does he put him on some type of draw, whether it's a flush draw or a straight draw? If so, he might fire out again, and apparently that's what he's done. Doesn't think he has the overpair because he didn't get raised back on the flop, so he's putting him on a drawing hand here. So he's just going to try to bet and take the pot away from Simon.
JP does seem like the kind of player to me where if he's bet this much on the turn, he very well may be betting again on the river, and not small. Simon knows that. Can you put down? Oh, gosh!
Unbelievable. He knows it, huh, Jesse? Well, I'll tell you one thing. It looks like he can see back through his cards there to come over the top with second pair here.
Mark, I don't know if this is an advertisement. This might be an advertisement for all of Blackpool. That's what this might be. If you're going to go to Blackpool to play poker, you better bring your wallet, I'm telling you.
I'll tell you, when you see guys raising with Queen 3 offsuits and 7 deuce offsuits, they're going to fill the tables there in Blackpool, I can tell you that.
Any offers?
No, I know.
Any offers?
It's not my baby, I don't have to get involved.
Look at this.
He can play Simon, Zach. He's
That was a 4-pound hand.
He likes
so you're
it.
right. And I should get
Well,
credit
that a
for
very
noticing
bold
that.
re-raise in my opinion right there, but
And my punishment is not
certainly worked out for him.
still early days. Hands just small skirmishes so far. It's all information.
You have sevens?
Sorry? Yeah, I've been re-raising now with pocket sevens and
It hurts. Even when they look ugly, it hurts, you know?
Anyone else is blind, I would take, but me not silly.
Tell you, JP Kelly's been around. I can't believe he underestimated Simon Zach like that.
Well, you can't call a raise with a King 9. You were making a play yourself to try to get him off his hand. It just didn't work. But give him credit for trying to make the play. Here he raises with a Jack 8 suited. And Praz, who knows JP's game probably better than anybody at the table, is figuring, is this guy steaming, getting outplayed the last pot? Could he be raising on junk here? And look at this. Praz is looking him up.
Tell you, these nobody's giving anybody credit for anything tonight.
Well, I'll tell you one thing he's giving him credit for. He's read him perfectly here. Praz I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He just suspected JP was just raising to be raising with nothing after getting outplayed the last pot. So he called him with the ace high, which is the best hand. The question is he going to call him again? Try to catch that gut shot 4.
Looks like there's going to be a lot of delicate situations in this heat.
Relatively middle.
Well, I'm telling you, folks, this is unbelievable. I believe Praz is calling because he believes he has the best hand with the ace high. Now, obviously, he'd love to catch the gut shot straight where he'd feel a lot better about his hand, but
21 hands, you get a lot of play here.
well, JP is checking this time.
Well, that was a great check for Praz, wasn't it?
Yep.
Maybe he can get down here cheap. Now, is he going to put some kind of blocking bet in, or is he just going to check and hope this gets...
Yeah,
In my view, this is going to be interesting, Jesse, because the only way JP can win this hand is to bet at it. The question is, does he want to fire again after the guy called before the flop and on the flop? Praz is most fearful that he hit a queen on the river right here, I can tell you that.
22,000.
Looks like Praz is going to call with one pair.
Sounds cheap. Sounds like a lot.
I'll tell you one thing, if he makes this call, folks, all of you, get out of your chairs at home and stand up and salute Praz for making this call with just an ace high. And you just sense he knows he's got the best hand, but still very tough to make a call here with this hand. Wow!
Oh my God.
I'm the first one to stand up and salute him. I'll tell you one thing, that is playing some poker, folks.
Oh, man.
He called him down with that hand. That is really playing the game.
He called him before the flop. He called him on the flop. He called him on the river. You think J.P. Kelly silenced the table earlier. Praz Bansi, 338,000. He's still yet to make a pair tonight.
Unbelievable. J.P. Kelly down to less than 200,000 now. Let's see if he can bounce back.
James Aikenhead, November 9er in the background. He got an unlucky knockout in the first heat, but he's talking to JP there. He's still hanging around to see his mates play.
I would have. Jesse might tell you. He's watching us. I would have passed him face up.
We are seeing some poker now, Jesse. I mean, we're seeing guys trying to steal pots, trying to win them without cards, and guys coming over the top without cards. Now that is playing poker. Don't turn that dial, folks. This is fun.
Then I bet far too much.
Oh my God, thank you so much.
It's a very fine line between madness and genius. I think this heat's gone on both sides of the line so far. It's tough, you know.
You are so right, Jesse. When a guy makes a bluff and nobody calls him, they call him a genius. When he makes a bluff and he gets called, they say, "What'd that idiot do that for?"
Yeah.
It is a fine line, definitely.
Praz has raised this to 10,000 early up. Cold call on the button by Phil Laak.
And what a flop for Phil Laak here. He's flopped two pair. He's hoping Praz has ace queen or ace jack now.
Sure is.
Praz, however, could beat him if a 10 comes up, though. But
I mean, that would just end this, wouldn't it?
if you're in Phil Laak's seat, do you raise right now, or do you call and hope the guy's going to bet again at it? I would raise right now if I was Phil Laak, but he's opted to just call.
If this comes the 10, there is going to be fireworks.
Well, not just the 10. Suppose the opponent had two 7s. Now he's going to get broke too by not raising.
Right.
That's why I think it's a very dangerous play to just call on that spot. And plus, when you call, your opponent knows you've got something. Probably two aces with a weak kicker or two kings with a strong kicker. So, you know, either way, chances are he's not going to fire another shell at it.
Yeah.
So calling on the flop, in my view,
There was a lot of scare cards that could have come there. Yeah.
I don't like the play, because if your opponent hits a set on the turn, for example, had he had a pair of 7s, or hits the 10 like you mentioned, you know, you're going to do your chips here.
Okay, check.
Right.
Chances are he's not going to lose any more money on this anyway. And now Phil Laak checks kings and 3s. That a very peculiar play to me.
I guess he's trying to induce a bluff on the river, but is Praz going to fall for that? Looking at his chips. I mean, if Praz does bet here, what hand is he trying to sell?
Well, he's trying to get Phil Laak off two kings. It's the only hand he could beat here where Phil could check on the turn, in my view.
No.
Well, I don't think he's going to raise it
You either
now.
have ace king, ace 8, air, or like you river to set or something weird. You see better the flop.
It's almost
Or
like
you put me on like ace jack and you have ace 10 and you think I'll fold ace jack or ace queen.
Mike, if
That's a lot of analysis when something should be just an instant call, in my opinion.
Feels like I'm beat.
You know, if you're beat, you're beat. You got to call with two pair here, period.
All right, I called to hit what I hit, so I got to call.
You got it.
Two pair. But I want to see what you did that with. I want to see what you did. Same as Andy. I want to see.
I'll tell you
Did you have a gutter
what,
ball
this
with it?
game-
A gutter ball?
I don't know, Mike. This could end up in tears, this table. I'm really not sure.
Okay, you bolt down the hatches, folks. They were
Lock.
drawing their swords in the sand now. Lock the doors, as you said.
Slow roll.
I don't know. I mean, you call with king 3 to hit two pair, but I thought you thought that I was in call mode because of the action, so I thought you wouldn't do that unless you had me beat.
Well, Phil Laak and Praz Bansi, they are starting a little bit of a feud. Right now, Laak's got nearly twice as many in chips, Mike. And you can look at the steal attempts, Phil Laak. He has been opening a lot of pots.
Okay, now I'm getting massaged from my needle.
One or the other, right? One or the other, but not both.
All right, sorry, I didn't mean to come off like that.
Nice hand.
Well, I can tell you, Praz is making mental notes of that.
What more do you want?
He is looking for revenge, folks. I can promise you that. He's not ever going to forget this hand. It may not happen this tournament, he'll get him back, but it'll be somewhere down the road. And he'll say, remember when you made all that speech and slow rolled me with that 2 pair of kings up? Well, take some of it back.
I can't wait first you slow rolled me, then you asked to see my cards, and then you needled me.
And he's right about every point, I might add.
I'll tell you what, if this was the Mafia, I'll tell you, he would have cement shoes on right now.
I wonder if the Unabomber knows he's a member of the hit squad, where they might have some hit men waiting in the wings for him for doing all that to him.
Wow.
Here comes Phil Laak now raising with a 10-7 offsuit. Just called to raise with a king-3 suited.
You know, Mike, you get the feeling there's something in the air here. I mean, Patrick Funke is looking at all these players saying, I've heard of these guys, been watching them for years. All I have to do is sit here, play aces and kings from now on. I'm going to end up with all the chips.
Well, now we're going to have three-way action here. And the flop comes 9-9-4.
And Phil Laak was the original raiser here.
Well, I believe he could probably win this pot if he continued to make a continuation bet. They both got overcards, and he's doing it. And he's already thinking about, can he get another 10 quid out of this hand? In case he gets him to lay it down. Now here's the kind of hand that you just lay down, in my view, if you got the 2 overcards here. If you didn't re-raise it before the flop, why get involved now? Even if you think the guy's making a move, you know, do you really want to invest your chips with nothing here?
J.P. Kelly's got a slight problem, Mike, in that he's already lost over 100,000 of his chips. So if he's going to get deep into this hand, then it's going to start being...
in the hand, but I'm going to refrain. That's my last comment, unless I change my mind.
It's going to start being stacked committal.
Wow, JP has made the
I
call.
think I'm going to change my mind and I'm going to start talking to Machine Gun Kelly.
He has raised it.
Oh, once again,
Unbelievable. A $21,000 raise.
Did he really make it 35?
And Mike,
why don't I just check?
Has Phil Laak given
Check,
something
this is
off
a
here,
check.
or is J.P. Kelly just making a percentage type of play?
Well, I
don't know
think
about
JP
that.
just made a great read on Phil Laak right
Let's put it this
there.
way, if I just check, I
Thought he might just have ace high.
I don't know.
Just doesn't think he can stand a raise. And what timing
If he has
by
nines, I
this
don't know.
youngster that has 2 World Series of Poker bracelets to his credit this year.
Join us after the break when Heat 2 continues here at the Palm Beach Casino in London for the Party Poker World Open 5.
You know, this is the way these tables start out, Jesse. Everybody's laughing and jovial and giggling. But you watch when we start losing a few players, all of a sudden the smiles will be gone because they'll recognize that they got a shot to get to that final. So they get much more serious and zoned in to play poker. But right now, it's still a fun-loving time because they all got chips and they're enjoying themselves being here.
Phil Laak's min raised this, just the 4,000 on top of 4. Simon Zach is called behind him.
Well, that's 2 plays back-to-back we haven't seen yet at this final table. A limp in and now a min raise. Praz just clarifying the size of that raise, but unfortunately for him, he has nothing.
And I'm sure Remy Biechel would have called with a lot of hands there, but not that one.
Simon get the 5-6.
Boy,
Oh, and look
boy.
at this. Phil Laak has flopped the bottom set, and he's going to lead out with it. Simon has flopped second pair. And right now he's contemplating, is this guy just making a continuation bet with like ace-10 or ace-jack? Or does he really have something?
Well, Mike, we saw Simon Zach the way he played second pair 7 deuce earlier, and it looked genius. If he does the same kind of move here, it's going to look like a freight train disaster.
Well, now a 10 has come off. If you're sitting in Phil Laak's seat, you're going to fire again here on the turn. At least I think you are. When a guy calls you on the flop, you're hoping he's got something like King Jack and he's going to pay you off all the way down.
So you try and get 3 streets of value.
And then it just can't come like if it comes.
Most top pro players will tell you you're going to earn more in the long run by leading out when you flop a set as opposed to checking and trying to trap somebody.
Well, he's made the big bet here, 32,000. It's a sturdy bet. And if Zach goes any farther here, oh, geez, he's going to have to put a big percentage of his stack in, Mike.
Well, not easy to put that much money in here on third pair to a guy who's never stopped betting. Whether he has a hand or not, you're always scared he's got one, and you're fearful that even if I call this bet, maybe the guy will bet something more on the next street. But look at this. Unbelievable. He has raised the pot.
75 total.
He doesn't do fear, Simon Zach, but he's about to get a bit of a comeuppance, isn't he? Now, is Phil Laak, should he be re-raising all the time right now, getting all the money in?
Well, I would be, because I'd be fearful that my opponent might have had something like 6, 7 of diamonds. I wouldn't want him to draw at this hand now. I would come back over the top of him with 3 threes. As we can see as the cards lie, though, there's no card that Simon can catch to win this pot. So if Phil knew that, obviously he would just call and then check on the river, hoping the guy would bet again, because he's drawing dead.
Looks like that's exactly what he has done.
Well, that's exactly what he's done. Now the ace comes off. Now you're never going to put your opponent on a queen jack here in a million years. Well, Phil Laak is going to win the pot. It's gone check, check.
Last action showed, no? I checked. Last action shows, right?
Marty, who shows the card?
He shows first.
Yeah, Phil Laak has to show
I
first.
know I got it.
He's got 3 threes.
Oh, wow, you're weak. Okay.
I'll tell you what. Well, it's Phil Laak, as it turned out, that was the only way he was going to get more money out of that hand.
And the victory one.
For a guy who has a reputation as a tight player, Phil Laak's been anything but. Look at that V-chip, and it's worked out well. 478,000, but with 8 still left, anything can happen. And with blinds this deep, even Praz Bansi still well in this one. A new day, new fortunes for everyone, Mike. I wonder who will have gone home or gone to their hotel and thought, I've got to do something different about that guy on my left or right.
Well, the online qualifier from Canada, Wayne O'Brien, came up and told me for sure, Mike, you're going to see a lot more aggression out of me today. He said, I am going to play. I'm going to be firing my chips. We shall see.
Wow.
Well, this time Praz has picked up big slick.
I can tell you one thing.
And I guarantee you, if somebody raises him here, all the chips will be going in the pot this time.
Raised to 15,000 total.
Praz is going to make it 15,000 to go, and here comes Remy.
Like me now.
Very hard to see how these two players are going to get away from these hands pre-flop.
We could see our first major clash at this table tonight.
Re-raised 42,000.
Raise, re-raise, and the expectation is all in and call. I don't think anybody would do anything different in either spot, would they?
Well, I don't think so, but we shall see.
How much do you have left?
Sorry, I don't speak English.
But you said that in English. Is that the only sentence you know?
Praz knows that the dealer will count the chips. The players that this is something you are entitled. It's information you're entitled to, and I think Remy's having a little fun.
Well, our first major clash at this final table
I'm all in.
All in.
could come right now.
Well, Praz has made the move all in. Now the decision's on Remy, and Jacks doesn't look as good as it looked before, but
Well, you just don't think the opponent is going to do that with a pair of 7s or 8s, for example. So now you got to hope he's got ace-king and hope you win the race. You're fearful he's got aces, kings, or queens here. Remy could well indeed muck the 2 jacks. He does lay down the, oh.
wow.
Well, he's going to lay down the 2 jacks, so a great all-in bet by Praz pays off for him. Now, he may have doubled up, but he might have got broke too there, so.
Yeah, you have to look at Remy Biechel. You know, if he could have seen the cards, he might have called. But you have to have a lot of respect for someone who has enough faith in his game to take the short stack and play on.
Oh, if he'd have seen his cards, he would have called for sure.
Yeah.
Because he'd have been getting the right price to make that call.
Right.
Antonio, yeah.
Thought we might see our first all-in big pot at this final table on a race situation. Didn't happen, as Remy opted to lay down the 2 jacks there.
You know you're watching great poker players when situations where it would be a race in anybody else's hands and they manage to avoid it. It's shows that they want to win.
Well, maybe not quad 5s, but.
Well, really good players can make big laydowns, Jesse, as you know, and that's a tough thing to do in the poker world, to lay a big hand down. Well, this is the worst hand he's picked up lately, and still a playable hand with the ace-8 suited.
J.P. Kelly, he's a monster in the small blind to late position raises.
Well, Jesse, I can tell you one thing. When a guy raises 3-4 pots in a row and comes over the top, like Patrick has done, you just don't think the guy's got a hand every single time. Well, this is a great spot for the Canadian again. It was raised and called before when he picked up 2 aces. He came over the top to win the pot. Now he's got 2 10s.
And it's almost an identical situation as when he had the aces. Raised by Patrick, called by J.P. Kelly. To Patrick and J.P., it might start to be too big a coincidence to ignore. But it is just a coincidence, isn't it?
Well, he's re-raised it.
Yeah.
He's made it 46,000 to go, so it's another 31,000.
Hey, Mad Marty. How many hands
To Patrick, and not the kind of hand you want to have against a re-raiser.
He's all in. And Mike.
Oh my gosh.
The all in here from Patrick.
The mechanic from Canada right now is getting the wrench pounded on his head, I can tell you that. Even though he's got 2 10s, we can see he's got the best hand. He's fearful his opponent's got an overpair.
Well, we can see he's got the best hand, but unless Patrick is bluffing, which he is, 2 10s isn't worth a dime. It's not worth a lemon.
Oh, a tough decision for the Canadian right here. And Jesse, this is a hard-working guy that he said this is life-changing money for him now. Put yourself in his seat right now. What would you do with 2 10s? You'd probably lay him down as well. Even though we can see he had the best hand, just give Patrick credit for having a hand like that. And if he really wanted to put the table on tilt, he'd just show him the 8.
He had at least a pair of deuces.
Absolutely right.
Nice play, nice king.
Well, we're into our 4th level now. Have not yet lost a player at this table. Something you don't see often, where you play a one-table tournament and you're into the 4th level and nobody's broke yet.
And there has been plenty of play.
Well, look at this. Well, we keep bragging about his play, but he keeps picking up monster after monster. This time he's got 2 kings. And believe me, folks, when a guy continues to raise every pot, if you're sitting at the table, you just don't believe he's got a hand every time.
He's hotter than the sun. And now Praz is saying to himself, I wish I had those 2 10s
I'm so
back.
afraid of Patrick that if I look down at 10s, I might just fold and get all like conjobulated in my head.
Well, if you get 10s, it'll be the last thing you ever get in this heat. I'll tell you what. There's one guy who's not laying down the kings right now. It's Patrick Funke. And you see what Simon Sack's thinking to himself. He's thinking, I'm going to sort this guy out. And he had that plan before he looked at his cards, Mike, because the cards didn't do much to change his mind either way.
Well, this is what we call the highway patrol hand, the 10-4. And it could be over and out for him if he doesn't hit something here. I'll tell you that. He is just gambling here. Oh, my gosh. Look what's happened here. Can you believe it? He has flopped 2 pair. He is now out in front. This is unbelievable. He decided to gamble perhaps at the right time. He now has the best hand.
Well, he's the sheriff of Blackpool, Simon Sack, and he's going to look like Robin Hood.
Yep, and this is going to look like the 4th of July in America because we're going to see fireworks right now.
Oh, my gosh. I'll tell you what.
This pot is going to get raised and re-raised, and the chips are going to sail. I'll be shocked if anything else happens.
Well, I mean, obviously Patrick is willing to get the chips in right now. Zach is willing to get the chips in right now. But does Simon know that fast playing this is the best way to make that happen? Well, he does.
Yeah, they're all going to go in right now. There's no getting away from it for either of these guys, in my mind.
You can see when the chip.
All in.
Well, it's all in, and we're going to have a Phil Laak slow call with 2 pair here, it looks like, but you got to be dreaming about the guy went all in here.
Yeah, but there's just nothing he can have that you don't beat. I mean, you know, he's thinking 3 sevens, but if it is, it is. I mean,
you're right,
and
Jesse.
Simon Zach knows that. He knows that.
Well, this is unbelievable. He can take this long to put his money out there. He should have just said quickly call and stood up and just hope the 10s and 4s hold up. I mean, what can he be looking at? All that can beat him is a set right now, and he's flopped 2 pair. Don't tell me you're going to put the guy on 3 sevens or 3 10s here.
Monster again.
What just happened? What?
No.
100?
What?
That's impossible. I mean, I can't believe what I'm seeing here, Jesse. I got to tell you the truth.
I can't believe it either. I've watched Simon Zach play tons of times before. Mike,
well, I don't care if you watch Dopey and Lopey play. I mean, you're going to play that hand. You're never getting away from that hand.
welcome back. It's an elegant room in perhaps the most elegant part of London, Palm Beach Casino. And I'm thrilled to be joined by poker's newest inductee into the Hall of Fame, Mike Sexton.
If you had him on 6s, you would have called for sure.
It's World Open action.
And 7-8.
Greekfish up.
No. Oh, I hate doing this on this one, but.
27.
Oh, up here did I shoot? Yeah, I look here.
Pass. Pass.
Go on, Praz.
I'm wounded.
I'm calling you.
Yeah,
Do it.
I don't think Praz is done gambling. I think if he senses an opportunity that might look a little risky to get chips, he's going to go for it. That's how he's going to go out or double up.
Well, Phil Laak on a gamble here with the Queen 5 of Hearts. We saw Praz lay down the Queen 6 of Diamonds. So here we go.
It's an interesting call from Phil Laak.
Well, he has flopped the flush draw, so I don't see him going anywhere here. But this actually a very good flop for 2 4s.
Don't worry, I'm not checking. I'm just thinking how much to bet.
If you feel like your opponent had an overpair, he would have raised it here. Just got to hope he doesn't have a jack, but you're certainly going to bet 2 4s in this situation. And the question is, what will the Unabomber do with the flush draw?
38.
Will he just call?
Cool.
Well,
and indeed he has.
He's got plenty more chips than the Greekfish, but the Greekfish has got enough to hurt Phil Laak.
Well, the Greekfish does not like the fact that he got called on this flop. He's fearful his opponent slow played 3 jacks. If he's got a heart flush draw, he's still nervous a little bit, so he's going to check right behind him.
That was a check to get a cheap showdown, and it will be. The pot's not huge. Uh-oh. He's going. Yeah.
Here's a mistake by the Unabomber in my mind.
You believe the Greekfish made the check on the turn to pay off
72.
most bets on the river.
I do believe that in this case you're going to put your opponent on a flush draw here, and you're going to pay him off with 2 4s. If he's got an overpair of 3 jacks, you just lose your money here. But you would expect that the guy would have raised had he had a pair. So you don't put him on that hand. He's got 3 jacks, or he's got the flush draw. So I think you're going to pay him off with 2 4s. Let's see if the Greekfish does.
And if he thinks about it, Mike, he's going to polarize that range because he's saying, well, if Phil Laak had a pair of 6s or 7s, he'd be happy to check it down as well. Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Check that.
Yeah.
But great players would make a value bet with 2 6s or 7s in this spot, believe it or not.
I don't think you're going to value bet now. If you flop a jack, you're a lucky person. Because I can't beat a jack. But I think you miss, mate. Oh, how much is it?
72.
Wow. Tell you what, Greekfish has talked this out pretty well, Mike. You said he would, and I think he's figured it.
Ooh, now is he second guessing himself?
Well, they're just saying in poker, you think long, you think wrong.
Yeah, I like that say. That's so right, though. Co-players' first instincts are...
Any words of wisdom, Phil?
Yeah.
I'm seriously going to make a horrible hero call here if you don't start talking to me soon.
Well, Phil should wake up to that and start talking. He's just not talking at all this time. Normally, he's always chatting about the
I don't think
Greekfish.
you're being very fair now. You want to talk for every other hand, and now trying to get something out of you, you won't even talk to me.
Levels on levels, Phil
Want a
says.
tenner bite?
And a different strategy here.
Yeah.
Will you show for a tenner? 20? I'll call.
Yeah. I think Phil should have talked right there, and he didn't do it, and he paid the price for it.
The Greekfish got him.
Well, he did get him.
Phil Laak's mouth is usually a weapon. This time, the closed mouth. Misfired.
Well, you know, in poker we change gears. Well, here, he changed gears verbally. Instead of talking all the time, he stopped talking, and it cost him.
And Andy Greekfish, he thought that one through. He induced the bluff, and he is not far off the chip lead.
Yeah, years ago, not now.
Still 8 players, but Simon Zach on the button down to 6 big blinds.
You don't know about.
Well, in my view, his only move, obviously, right now is just to move all in if he plays a pot. Here the Canadians picked up the King Jack of clubs. Certainly a nice hand, so he's going to raise it.
I said we know about. We're talking about people that
Everyone thinks they know what a value is.
I think he's actually just limped, which is very unusual for Wayne. I think it's the first time he's done it early on tonight. It might induce Simon Zach to raise all sorts.
Well, just can't believe with this stack size that he's
I
going to
should punish a limp, and I really would if it was
put
a cash
10,000 in there on the limp.
Okay.
Oh, here's a case I think Andy should come right over the top of him, but he doesn't do it.
I reckon there's limp to raise all
You got to know Simon doesn't have
I'm not even
anything.
looking at the flop, I don't
Well,
care
now
what
it's
it
come
is.
ace, queen, 6.
Just tell me when it's to me.
It's you.
I
Now
don't care
checked
what it
it.
is. Really? I must have hit. Wow. No, did I check? Oh,
He had it right. He said, I must have hit. Indeed, he did. He's got top pair.
If
He
he
doesn't
makes-
want to make 2 pair here, though.
No, he doesn't.
And now the 3 of hearts comes off. So
Oh, well,
Zach is
so
back
you
in
can
it
use
again
your
now.
opportunity, I suppose,
He's now
isn't
got
it?
a flush draw and a
Since
straight
no one
draw.
wants it. And there's
If
a
he could
huge
get a free
force
card.
also.
Oh,
he
look
did.
at this.
17.
The 10 has come off. It's given the Canadian a straight. He now has the best hand. So the Greekfish, while chatting it up throughout this hand and not looking and checking in the dark, has lost this pot. He's got aces and 10s, but it is no good right here. Now there are 3 hearts on the
Thank
board.
you. Very nice of you.
So the Canadian is just going to call, fearful of the flush.
Hurry up and fold because I want to discipline this man. Just calling, you done well. Just calling.
Well, you're wrong about that,
my good
Greekfish.
God.
Well, he certainly thought he'd won the pot, obviously.
I knew that as well. What you do? Why you been raised me or something? I might play it.
That was some discipline.
All right, shush.
I suppose your kids are
Edit that, cut it, don't show that head. Right, okay.
Join us next time as Heat 2 continues. Only one player can go straight through to the final table and get a shot at $250,000 and the World Open 5 title here at the Palm Beach Casino in London.
I gotta cool down the jets here.
I'm getting frustrated.
It's the best bet I've ever seen in my life.
This is what's going to get me busted, my big mouth.